Hi, I'm Renarta Clanton Moyd. I'm a communications specialist with the Cumberland County Schools and your host of Get Connected. During this monthly show, we highlight numerous educational topics that face today's student, educator, and parent in the Cumberland County Schools. Now, the late international icon Walt Disney once said, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." The Academically Intellectually Gifted program in the Cumberland County Schools, or AIG, also continues to open new doors to enhance gifted students' learning experiences. AIG strives to change with the times and tries new and innovative programs that infuse rigor into the curriculum and encourages the students to unlock doors to become independent thinkers and decision makers. We'll discuss this and much more on this edition of Get Connected.
Don't walk. Don't walk. Walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go. Ghostly ghouls. Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
I'm starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Franz!
I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Again, thanks for joining us for this edition of Get Connected, where we're talking with Carrie Childers, the coordinator of Cumberland County Schools Academically Intellectually Gifted Program, Nancy Donaldson, lead teacher for Accelerated Curriculum for Exceptional Students and Curriculum Technology, as well as Susan Brady, the AIG High School lead teacher and consultant. Carrie, Nancy, Susan, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
You know what, I didn't get the memo about the black outfits. I'm gonna have to do something a little better. But anyway, you all look lovely, and I'm glad you're here with us talking about this wonderful topic. Now, tell us, sometimes the program is called AIG. That's what people normally call it, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
And it's been around for how long?
Oh, our AIG program has been around since the 70s. Faye Runner was the first. She started the program in, I think, 77, maybe?
Somewhere around
Somewhere
there.
around 77.
Yes.
It's been around a long time.
A good time.
Yeah.
And primarily, what is the AIG program? What is it exactly?
Well, it's academically intellectually gifted, where we're looking at students, their academics, their IQs. We have multiple ways of identifying our children. And then, you know, it kind of takes it back to, we think about North Carolina has a law for gifted, and it's Article 9B, and it governs what we do with our academically gifted students. And then from that, we actually have an AIG local plan that we have to create every 3 years. Okay. And that plan actually has to be approved by the school board. And then after they approve it, then we have to actually follow through, and we have to oversee that program with our students, grades K through 12.
Okay. I remember when I was coming along, which was a long time ago, the program was called, you know, people were considered gifted and talented. It's pretty much the same thing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, a lot of parents, and I've run into quite a few people who just think, oh, well, my child is gifted and talented. my child is academic, so how can one go about, measuring and being able to tell truly if the child is academically and intellectually gifted?
Well, we have lots of parent resources out there where they can go and start reading at characteristics of gifted students versus characteristics of just bright learners. And then we also, and you guys help me out a little bit here, we have places on our site where they can go and they can read up. We also try to plan other activities for them, for parents, and try to get them
more knowledge
knowledgeable of
about what the
going on.
characteristics of a truly gifted child is, as opposed to the high learner.
Now, just off the cuff, because I know you weren't expecting me to ask you this,
Right.
but what are some basic characteristics? I mean, if we have some parents out there that are watching now and who may at some point in time visit the website to find out more about it, but what are just some basic characteristics of that particular type of child?
Well, one for sure is they're curious. Usually have very curious, wanting to know and go beyond just what they see right there. It's what else can I do with that? How can I expound on that? So it's a very curious and keen thinker. What else would you say?
They can go beyond the concrete so quickly. They're able to get, even at a young age, get abstract thought. They can learn concepts much more quickly than the average child. They usually have incredible memories. Just a thirst for knowing about things beyond just the basics. So there's so many characteristics, and from one gifted child to another, it can vary, but those are some of the basics.
And it kind of takes me back to the fact that when you ask someone what their definition of giftedness is, there's such a wide range that you really can't pinpoint exactly what that's going to be. That's kind of why we have to have different ways of looking at kids and trying to figure out what's going on with them academically, their performance in the classroom, or maybe performance in extracurricular types of activities, and then their IQ. So there's lots of different things to look at with that.
And the classroom teachers that work with those students day in and day out are often a very good resource for us to let us know that they have a student in their class that's going above and beyond perhaps some of the other students, and they kind of point us in their direction so we can take a moment to look at them as well.
That's because now, Susan, you're on the high school level, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you work a lot with that older student who was probably identified early on?
A lot of them were identified in elementary school and middle school. We do identify students at the high school level as well, and those students are enrolled mostly in honors and AP level classes in our areas of identification. A lot of times those students come to me and ask me to look at them for the program because they've gotten to the point, where they see how they perform in the class and they want, me to kind of look through their information, and they're very excited to participate in the types of things we offer at the high school level.
That's good. Now, Nancy, you work with the younger child?
The elementary, yes,
Okay.
3 through 5.
Okay.
Grades 3 through 5, yes.
That's good. Now, how many students does the program serve?
Right now, it's just over 5,000, and that's identified AIG students. But we work with a variety of different students through our cluster classes. At the K2 level, we don't identify students until 3rd grade, but at K2 we have a nurturing program, and so those teachers see anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 students in a year, and they work very closely again with, like Susan said, with the classroom teacher and trying to figure out who's already exhibiting characteristics at that lower age.
Right.
And then we provide a nurturing environment for them where we pull out and do some extra things with those children, and then actually some of them actually go in the classroom and teach full class lessons, and they do a wonderful job with parent resources. We have a wonderful lending library now down at ERC.
That's nice. ERC is our Educational Resource Center.
Yes, and we have down in their media center down there, we have a parent lending library for students grades K through 2, and they're welcome to go down and check those materials out.
That's good. Now, I know as educators, I mean, you guys have been like in our classrooms for a good amount of years, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, a long time.
Now, with that in mind, to be able to work with the child who is inquisitive and those types of things, for some people that might get on your nerves a bit, but you all have, I'm sure you all know how to really handle and feed those characteristics, those personalities. Go right ahead.
Well, I was going to say, to work with a gifted student, you have to be willing to admit that you don't know everything.
Okay, I'm glad you were able to get there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's okay to say, you know what, that's a really good question. Why don't we find the answer together? Because there's no way that any of us know the answer to everything. And the students are really excited that you're willing to explore those things with them. There's just, it's very fun to learn together.
And they love it if you don't know.
Yes.
Oh, do they? They get a ride off that.
They do get a ride. They love that. So they want to
I know something you don't know.
That's right. Oh, and sometimes they do. And so we have to really, figure out what their interests are and how we can really, push them through.
Well, and some gifted students really have, a focus on something in particular, and they really throw themselves into that one thing and become an expert at that. And so they're definitely going to know more than the classroom teacher who kind of knows a lot about many different things.
Exactly.
So a lot of times we can use them as a resource to share that information with our classes as well.
Nancy, you look like you were about to say something.
I was just going to say, I know I had an experience where we have been trying to integrate more STEM's standards, which is the science, technology, engineering, and math, and so we're doing robotics now. And I had a young fellow who just really got into it, and he had gone on YouTube and had learned how to do the software before I even had introduced it. Oh, wow. And so he became our class expert. And it was a child who might have struggled a little bit socially, and he suddenly began to excel because of this opportunity to share his knowledge. So sometimes you can, as they were saying, they become experts in areas, and it helps them socially then to be able to share that knowledge with other students.
That's good. Now, as far as what we were talking about, as a teacher of a gifted student, what type of professional development do you all receive?
Well, we have 59 AG teachers in the county that service K through 12 and also diagnosticians, and they are all certified through the state of North Carolina. They have an add-on to their license that's gifted courses. Now in the county, we also ask that our cluster teachers get the local endorsement, and we have 2 classes online. There's a differentiation class that we offer, and also curriculum strategies for the gifted, to kind of get those classroom teachers to understand how to service those gifted students when we're not there, because some teachers service more than one school, so they're not there every day. So that kind of gives them that. But all 59 of ours are all certified AG teachers.
Wow. And you said that there are at some of the schools, there's not a teacher at every school.
There is a teacher at every school.
There is, okay.
Every school has an AG teacher that is assigned to that school.
Okay.
Depending on the population of that school determines how much time that teacher can be there. So we have some teachers that service only one school, such as like Susan, because she has such a huge population there, versus some teachers that service maybe 3 schools because they might be smaller in number. So they rotate in and out through the week. They do have a set schedule that they do. And then our K-2 teachers, they service 7 schools in the county, and so they do an A-B schedule where one week they're at 4 schools, the next week they might be at 3 schools.
Okay.
So that's how they operate that.
Well, you know what? I think it's time for us to take a break.
Okay.
The time has gone quickly, hasn't it?
It has.
All right. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for more Get Connected.
It's never too early to start reading to your kids. There are amazing possibilities when you open a child's mind to reading. Explore new worlds. Read.
So, Malcolm, you do know that energy savers last 6 times longer than ordinary light bulbs.
This isn't my room. It's Baron Davis's.
Baron Davis, the basketball player? This is his room?
Yep.
Interesting, because we have Baron Davis right here. Baron, do you live here?
No.
I don't mean that, Baron Davis.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Get Connected. Our guests are Carrie Childers, the coordinator of Cumberland County Schools Academically Intellectually Gifted Program, Nancy Donaldson, lead teacher for Accelerated Curriculum for Exceptional Students and Curriculum Technology, as well as Susan Brady, the AIG High School lead teacher and consultant. Now, we're discussing the school system's academically intellectually gifted program and the innovation and rigor it offers our students. Wow, I had problems getting that out there. But you know what? Let's talk about the program. I mean, because sometimes, though, you all call the program AIG Program, correct? As opposed to AIG. What, is there a difference?
One, academically gifted, academically intellectually gifted. We kind of changed that a few years back and added the intellectual piece to that.
Okay. Well, talk to us specifically about the program.
Well, we have everything from K to 12, and we'll talk about the K2 first, which is our discovery program, which is in every school, and that the students are pulled out of class for extra enrichment type activities. They work on critical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving. They're not identified yet, so we see lots of children. And then we move into our 3-5, and Nancy, you can tell a little bit about 3-5.
We begin placing our students in third grade, and we continue to monitor and place children throughout their elementary career. And well, they do on middle school and high school as well, but in third through fifth, once they're placed, then we work with not only the teachers, but we also do a pull-out resource. It varies from school to school because of the diversity of our different schools and the populations that we have. We cluster our students in the classrooms, and the AIG teacher works with the classroom teacher to help make sure that there's challenge and rigor in the classroom, but they also pull them out in a resource setting in order to give them really challenging and interesting and high-level activities to participate in. We do have a couple of schools where the AIG teacher actually does do the teaching of certain subjects and gives them the grade for that, but that's a rarity. Most of them do a consult and direct type of setting.
Okay. And then as far as other resources or other parts of the program?
Well, at the middle school level, it's very similar in some aspects to the elementary school level. We have some schools that have cluster teachers that teach those courses. They teach 2 courses we identify in reading and in math. Which is, I guess, needs to be said. Right. Some schools pull students out and they teach in small groups. Some schools, the teacher actually teaches every day within that school. But as Carrie said earlier, all schools have an AIG consultant that serves that school. At the high school level, the academic piece is in their honors and AP level courses. The consultants at the high school level, they do not teach those courses. We leave that for the expert in the math and science field and in the English field. And we offer a lot of college planning. We go on lots of campus tours. We kind of are that missing piece to get them in their college of their choice and giving them all the information how to get into the college that they're interested in, as well as the academic rigor of their classroom.
That's great.
And I was just going to add that our 3rd through 8th grade, our AIG teachers do come up with units of study that are beyond what they're doing in the regular classroom, some things to stimulate their curiosity and to just get them excited about learning. And Nancy mentioned robotics. We do some things with that. We have archaeology units. We do lots of
interesting
novel studies. We have a big study on the brain, rocketry, pirates.
We have a Fayetteville history, and we use GPS where they study North Carolina, Fayetteville, and then they, using their GPS, they go to find different sites and find a hidden clue there. And so it's, using the technology, but again, that's stimulating, exciting hands-on activities.
That's great. Now, I know here in Cumberland County, it seems as though we have a lot of, even our institutions of higher learning here support our program, and I think that's wonderful. Talk to us a little bit about that, the partnerships that we have.
Well, Fayetteville State University, we partner with them with our 3rd through 5th grade students, and once a year we go over there for a math and science family night. And that family night, the parents come with the students and they actually go to the different classes, and the professors at Fayetteville State plan those activities for our students.
And they love it.
I've heard that it's very successful.
Popular. Oh my
Very
goodness.
successful.
Oh, absolutely.
And they get to see the planetarium. That's always a big hit. Just lots of really cool hands-on types of activities. They actually brought out the robotics this past year, and it was really neat. The kids had a good time.
That's good.
And so did the parents. They got their hands dirty too.
That's good. Now I've heard also Methodist gets involved. Methodist youth?
This past summer, the Methodist put together a middle school summer enrichment for the first time, a STEM camp, and they invited the rising middle school students and rising freshmen, former 8th grade students, on campus, where they were treated to amazing, my children actually went. Each day they did CSI, they went in the simulator, there's only one like it in the country, and they learned math, science. They had a great time at the middle school level. And that was the first time Methodist put that together for us.
So we also have other community organizations that help us, such as Fascinate You just did a night for our K through 2. And then we've had lawyers and Ellen Hancock, who has provided field trips to the courthouse as we're studying the judicial system, and allowed us to see the court proceedings in action. So we're always looking for new partnerships, but we're so thankful for the ones that we've had.
Right, and to earn a little extra money, we do partner with ChickfilA. We do that 4 times a year, and it's a spirit day, but from 5 to 8, parents can come out and they can spin the wheel and get free things. And
we love free.
Yeah, we have a really good time out there, and the money that we earn for that, we use, last year we spent some of the money on a mobile aquarium that came from Fort Fisher, and they brought the mobile aquarium, and we got to see all kinds of really neat marine life, and the people who presented were extremely impressed with our students and what they already knew before they got there.
That's great.
So that was really neat.
That's great. Now I know, go right ahead.
I was just going to say one other partnership I wanted to mention really quickly before we move on would be the Arts Center. They provide us a matching grant at the high school level to bring in someone. This year we did Poetry Alive, and then this artist goes to every high school. We serve all of the high school students with the matching grant from the Arts Council, which is really great.
And this was the first year the Arts Council also matched for our 2nd graders for our Fascinate You Museum Night, and we were able to get a lady in who did all kinds of motion and with math and science, and it was just a really neat experience for the students and for their parents.
Mental stimulating.
Yes,
That's great.
so.
That's great. Now I know part of this, there's a partnership, of course, with different entities and businesses and those types of things in our community, but then also you have to have that partnership with the parent.
Yes.
So your parents are pretty involved. How do you all keep them informed and get them involved?
Well, the first thing every year we do our differentiated education plan, which is a plan that we have at each grade level, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, 9 through 12. And we actually meet with parents and kind of go over with them what's going to be happening during the school year. Before the end of October, all parents will have been given the opportunity to come in and meet. And high school does it a little bit different. Susan, if you want to share a little bit about that.
Last year, for the first time, we had county-wide DEP meetings, and we had 2 of those where we picked a high school and invited all of the AIG parents at the high school level to attend, and then all of the consultants presented at the same time, which was very interesting and a great opportunity for the parents to meet all of us kind of as a unit and hear what's happening all across the county.
But a lot of our teachers also send home newsletters. We have websites, individual classroom websites, but we also have Edmodo now that we're using, and parents can get the password and find out what their students are doing through that as well.
Now, you mentioned Edmodo, and I think about what you do as far as technology. Yes. How are you all using technology to enhance the AIG program?
Well, we actually have a virtual school called Cool School, and we're converting it from the Moodle program over to Edmodo so that teachers can change it a little bit and make it more user-friendly for their students and have more control over the actual curriculum, use parts of it and that fit their students better. So we're actually going to use it as our virtual school.
Now, you know, when we say, and just very briefly, because I'm looking at the clock on the wall, we're talking about Edmodo, but not everyone knows what Edmodo is. What is Edmodo really?
Well, it's really like a website, but it's more of the opportunity to blog with students, to share information, to be able to assign information, to provide outside websites that students can do research or find information or do virtual activities on them, and then just learn more about information. So it's basically like it's a website, but it's
a network.
A network, thank you.
Yes. Okay. And you can network, we can network with parents, we can network with each other. I have an AG site where just my AG teachers come in and we can share information. We can now network with parents, and then the students connect, we can network with them and have them come on. So.
Okay. Now, you know what, something else I wanted to touch on quickly, summer opportunities. Back this past summer, a lot of opportunities for our young people, and I know that you all talked about that briefly, but just kind of touch on that again.
We had at Stony Point Elementary, we did have our annual 3rd through 5th grade summer enrichment camp. It is a half-day camp, Monday through Friday. The kids come and they rotate, 4th and 5th graders rotate through 3 different classes. It's a choice program. We offer everything from robotics to engineering solutions to poetry and motion, all kinds of activities. And then our 3rd graders actually rotate through 2 classes. This past summer they did Egypt, they explored Egypt, and they also went through the decades from the 1950s to the present day time. We made lava lamps and had a lot of neat
lava lamps. We remember those.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
That's
so
great.
we had 152 campers, and it was they had a good time.
That's great. And you know what? I know you all are celebrities. We know that. But we have a very special celebrity on here as well. Susan is our AIG Teacher of the Year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, she was our AG Teacher of the Year for 2011-2012, and she represented us very well. Every year the NCAGT conference, which is held in Winston-Salem, she was actually a finalist for the state title, so we were very proud of her, and we got to all go to that and support her. And she did a wonderful job with that.
That's great. Well, congratulations, congratulations. And what are you all looking forward to next year as far as the program is concerned?
Well, next year is a big year for us because it's our time to do our new AG local plan. Our 3 years is coming up, and we're going to have to do that. So we're excited about those opportunities.
And you know what? I'm looking at the clock on the wall. Any last words about this wonderful program?
I just think we're excited about stimulating curiosity and just continuing and working next year with Common Core and the essential standards and getting our teachers ready and our kids ready and just providing wonderful activities for our students.
Okay.
Again, just having fun, challenging the students and seeing how far you can allow them to advance their minds and experience things they might not have otherwise had the opportunity to do.
All right, thank you, Nancy. Susan?
Gosh, just seeing the excitement on their face when they get it. I love that part.
Yeah. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you get it? That's great. That is great. Well, ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
I've enjoyed this. Very informative. Well, on behalf of the Cumberland County School System, we want to thank you for tuning in for this edition of our show and for giving us a chance to help you get connected.